in Ghana and abroad, I have come to realize that of all the 100% of wastage that occurs in developing countries, not more than 30% is attributable to corruption. So, if we focus not on corruption, but on the 70% of other forms of wastage, we'll be better off in our national agenda of conserving our resources. Again, research findings on illicit financial outflows from Africa in the last 2 decades have consistently proven that only about 5% of these illicit outflows are attributable to corruption. So, if we ignore corruption in this scenario and focus on the 95% of other illicit outflows, we'll be far better off in conserving our natural resources. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, let me end on a controversial note. And in order to ensure that those of you gathered here and the public at large do not beat me afterwards, let me put it in the form of a short story. Some 2 decades ago, a certain guy called Musa in the state of Wakanda undertook a risky venture. Wakandanians watched whilst Musa spent lots of money from his business, including loans from financial institutions at home and abroad, to fund the presidential campaign of his relative, Amina. For 12 good years, and through election defeats, Musa remained resolute, plowing more than all his business and personal resources into Wakanda's presidential and parliamentary elections every 4 years. Then fortune smiled on Musa's cousin Amina, and she won the elections. Musa became the Minister for Finance of Wakanda and immediately established financial schemes that allowed him to retrieve all the money he invested in Wakanda's democracy with interest, plus a little top-up for all the risks he took. After Musa left office, Wakandanians are crying foul. They have declared him wanted, listed him with Interpol red alert notices, have begun extradition proceedings, so he may be returned from the Republic of Mapinduzi. When Musa was spending his money on Wakanda, buying land cruisers and pickups for the campaign, paying huge hotel and food bills on campaign trail, dashing this and that to many Wakandanians, Wakandanians never asked him to stop. In fact, Wakandanians goaded Musa on. Now that Musa has collected back his money with some interest and top up, he say with him, read my lips.
He say with
We will not be able to end corruption and reset the Ghanaian economy, as the theme for this conference is, unless we confront the reality of our managed democracy. I repeat, we will not be able to end corruption and reset the Ghanaian economy, as the theme for this conference is, unless we confront the reality of our managed democracy. We have 2 options, and 2 options only. If we are serious about ending corruption and the leakage of public monies and resources. 1, reform the fundamental character of our managed democracy that we swallowed from the West, so that politicians and their political investors do not have to find and invest between $100 million, which is the cheapest campaign we ever run under Mills, and $1 billion every 4 years to run political campaigns, and then seek to recoup these monies from the public payers when they are in office. You either do this, or you pay every politician their election expenses when they come into office. And remember to add interest and a little top-up for the risk they took. If we fail to do this, and rather hound and prosecute these political investors and risk takers, our actions would actually be counterproductive. This is because the political actors will now not only focus on taking enough from the public purse, one, for election expenses they've incurred with interest and top-up, two, to build a war chest for the next election. They will now additionally, if we persecute them, take from the public purse money that they will use to retain lawyers, financial experts, journalists, NGO operatives, public commentators, and sitting politicians to defend them on the day of reckoning. We have all seen how intractable the Galamsey problem has become, flowing from the banking sector cleanup. And the concomitant movement of political party and democracy funding from financial institutions after the banking cleanup to Galamsey failures. As long as you continue to run a moneyed democracy, water will find its level. If you disable the banks as conduits for political financing, another conduit, such as Galamsey, will be found. Thank you all for a rewarding 2 days of conferencing. May God bless each and every one of us, and may God bless our homeland Ghana, and make her corruption and money democracy free. Thank you.